Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great this week. I'm here of course to do Friday sews. It's a lovely evening out here. It's quite warm, it's 31 degrees today, but we've got 37 in for the weekend. So 37 2 days in a row means the house is going to heat up, the air conditioning goes on, but hopefully I can cool down my sewing area because I've got lots of sewing to do. And I've got one of those little portable fans that I sit on my sewing desk, just blowing straight at my face, so it always does a job for me, as well as a nice cool drink. Look at this cute little flower. I thought it really suited what I've got on here today. This is a gorgeous plant. We've got quite a few of these around. It's a Chinese lantern. We've got quite a few colours. We've got yellow, red, but this is the orange. And it really reminds me of a paper lantern. You can see where they got the name from, but have a look at it up close. It's really like papery thin, just a gorgeous flower, one of my favorites. And to complement this is the lacy dress from Stylark. I've actually got a little bit wet before. I had a bit of a sprinkle from the sprinkler because we haven't got any rain coming for the next few days, so I've got to make sure I don't let my plants die. So if you can hear the sprinkler in the background, it's doing a great job there. And I've got some footage at the end of the show today to show you some bits and pieces around my garden, just how it's looking at the moment. I've got the most beautiful dahlia that's just opened right up. It is the most pretty colour. It's a looks sort of an apricot mixed with a coffee colour. Very, very pretty. So have you got to pretty much sewing this week? What's been keeping you busy? I've actually completed my Sofia dress from Victory Patterns. I will show you. I made it in this beautiful viscose fabric, which is a lovely Turkish print fabric from Potter & Co. I had a little bit of, I wouldn't say trouble with this dress, but getting the fit right was a little bit challenging for me, mainly because I'll blame myself. The style of the dress, I'm not sure if it's 100% my style. I did a lot of shearing on this dress. If you're not familiar with shearing, it is quite easy to do. You just need to make sure that your bottom bobbin has a shearing elastic threaded around. There is a little bit of a knack to winding the elastic around the bobbin, getting that bit of tension, but not too much tension. One thing I did learn from shearing the bodice was that if you have the lines of shearing close together or too close together, it will bring in the fabric a lot smaller. So you've got to make sure you practice around with the shearing techniques, maybe on a scrap of fabric. It was 1.5 centimetres apart on the pattern, but I found it, I had to take every second row of shearing out. But I did that when I'd finished, so I'd sewn the side seams together to make sure that the elastic was sewn right through, so there wasn't that possibility of the whole thing coming unthreaded. So I decided to take every second row of shearing out. So my shearing is probably more like 2 centimetres apart, and I found that worked a lot better. I didn't want it to be sort of squashing me too much. I wanted it to be comfortable. I will show you what I mean. I actually found the shoulders were slipping off too easily. I really wasn't sure about that very, very wide square neck. It just wasn't doing it for me, and I know that I'd seen it on a few people and really loved that cap sleeve version. So I kind of regretted doing the puff sleeve in the end, but I decided to adapt it with the cap sleeve pieces on the shoulders. So I'll show you a bit of before and after and see what you think. So this is the finished Sofia. I'm not convinced it is my style. I think the wide neck here, you can see it just slips straight off the shoulders here, the elastic. It's I think I need to be a bit more broad shouldered to carry this off. I actually am considering putting the cap piece on and extending the sleeve out to be the capped or fluted sleeve. I think it might work better for me. And I also took every second row of shearing out, because the more close together you have the shearing, the tighter it brings in the shearing. It was a little bit too intense. I think I prefer it more like a good 2 centimetres apart instead of 1.5. But that's something you can play with, and you can take every second row out if you wish. But I think the best thing is to practice your shearing and get your tension right, because everyone's machine has different tensions, of course, the way it sews up. And I'm going to fix this up. I'm going to try putting the cap sleeve to balance myself out and see what you guys think. So I wasn't too impressed with that. I think that it just didn't suit my frame. I think being kind of having slanted shoulders a little bit doesn't help. I think if you've got nice sort of broader shoulders to keep that kind of elastic casing up, you won't have that problem. But for me, it wasn't working really well. And I had seen it on a model, in particular the cap sleeve version. I think that what worked better was having those pieces on the shoulders that were intended for the cap sleeve. Even though I did the puff sleeve, I left them there because I didn't have enough fabric to recut the cap sleeves. But I think that it really ended up working quite well. So I'll show you the after and see what you think. I won't say it was the easiest dress in the world just so, because there is a lot of work in there. You need to take your time doing the shearing. But in saying that, shearing is a very simple technique that just takes a bit more time. So if you want to dress it, you can just rush through and have it ready in a couple of hours. This probably isn't the pattern to choose. But if you really love the fact that you don't have a lot of fitting issues, because as I say, it does stretch quite a bit, shearing takes away all that need for zips and fastenings. It really is quite practical. You just need a piece of elastic along the top, the front and the back, and the rest of it is all done with shearing elastic. So now that it's finished the way I'm more happy with, I really am quite proud of the dress. I really love it on. But definitely, if I made it again, I would definitely make it with that lovely fluted sleeve, or even if I'm going to do that kind of puff sleeve, put those little cap pieces on, because I just think it sits up on my shoulders a lot better. But absolutely love the fabric, the Valerie fabric. I think they've still got some left on Potter & Co. Such a beautiful, vibrant, summery print that I really had to kind of get ready to wear while we've still got this nice summery weather. And I have seen a lot of people make this in the peplon top version and also without the peplon, just as a top. I think it looks fantastic. It's got a really good size range on that pattern as well. I just think definitely, if you haven't done shearing before, play around a bit on a bit of scrapper fabric, get the tension right. And it does give you instructions as far as shearing. If you haven't done it before, the pattern will give you all those details. I think that if you find it's gathering up too tightly, you can adjust the tension on your machine and make sure that you get that tension just perfect before you start on your fabric. But yeah, really happy with the dress. Definitely with those little modifications. And it just goes to show you nothing's a fail if you can fix it up and maybe learn from next time from your mistakes or patterns, things that you haven't liked. Then you can go on to adapt it to suit your body. So what I'm working on this week, I'm currently working on a Lola dress by Forget Me Not Patterns. Forget Me Not Patterns is a fantastic pattern company from New Zealand. They had actually offered to send me the pattern so I can show you guys and see what you think. It's a gorgeous shift style loose fitting dress with a tie at the waist and a beautiful detail ruffle at the back. I think it's a really simple but really easy wear dress that will hopefully look great in some crepe fabric that I've got. Got a little bit of Spotlight mail here that you might be interested in. If you're a VIP member for Spotlight, there is a 40% off full priced item to purchase either in-store or online. And they've also got a great deal going with their paper patterns. Last week they had $7 paper patterns, and this week they have 4 patterns for $20. Now, a lot of you guys in the US love buying your 99-cent patterns. You get some great deals on them. We generally don't get them that cheap here. They tend to cost quite a lot more. You're usually looking around the $20 to $25 per pattern. So when we see them on a great sale and markdown like that, it's the best time to stock up on them. The couple that I've got a few more coming in the mail, but I've got one delivered this week that was I've seen these on quite a few people on Instagram. I love this blouse, the M7325. There's 4 different versions in that. I think that's a really lovely floaty style blouse. I love tunics and blouses, one of my favorite things to wear. And I'll show you the line drawings. You can see the 4 different versions. But that would be a great little trans-seasonal top to wear right through till the end of autumn. Very excited to make that one. And another one I've had quite similar, this has been in my stash for a little while, is a McCall's 7284. And that is a gorgeous peasant style blouse as well. So a couple of blouse patterns. I've actually gone a bit crazy on the blouse patterns. I took advantage of purchasing those all on sale. So I've got quite a few of them still coming in the mail. Now, of course, here in Melbourne, we've just been on a 5-day circuit breaker lockdown. We had a little bit of trouble with our hotel quarantine, and unfortunately COVID had escaped from that, and they have locked us down. We've just finished 5 days, and of course it's worked really well. So fingers crossed we can keep those transmissions away at bay. And I know a lot of you guys in New Zealand as well just entered or just come out of a 5-day lockdown too. So we can only remain hopeful. There's been some very exciting talk of some new patterns released. A lot of you guys are really big fans of Pattern Emporium patterns. And if you are part of the Facebook Pattern Emporium Circle group, if you're not, get on board there and join the Facebook Circle group. But if you are, you will have noticed a brand new pattern that is going to be released on the 25th, I think I'm right, 25th of Feb. And it is looking like a woven pattern. It's very, very exciting. So I'll be making that up and showing you guys ready for release. That's going to be fantastic because they don't have as many woven patterns as they do knit. They're very famous for the knit patterns. So I think a woven pattern will be exactly what we're all waiting for at the moment. And it looks like a fantastic practical pattern. Another great new pattern released last week was also from Sewing Revival, and that is the Finch fold skirt. Now I know that that looks fantastic in things like a linen or a chambray, drills and cottons and denims as well, for like a lightweight denim, and that looks like a great little practical style skirt. And of course that tie front alleviates the need for having things like zips and buttons. So I think those kind of things are what we're all wanting to wear at the moment. Or if you've eaten a big meal and you're feeling a bit uncomfortable, you can easily loosen that tie. I just think I love patterns like that because they do give you room to move. Now, just last week I had a new fabric episode that was in collaboration with Cloth Edit, and that competition was to win 4 meters of beautiful designer end modal fabric, a brand new kilo wrap dress pattern, and also a pack of Kylie in the Machine label. So if you haven't entered that draw, the best way is to comment after that episode, which is the one before this. So comment why you'd like to win it, or also you can even go over to Instagram and comment on my post there on the grid as to why you'd like to be the winner of that prize, and you will go into the draw to win that fantastic competition, which I think a lot of you have said what a generous prize that is. So that's from Gabriella Cloth Edit. I think it's going to be a wonderful thing to make up for heading into that autumn and winter season. Now don't forget that is just for Aussie and New Zealand viewers, so I'm very sorry to everybody else, but we all know how expensive postage is at the moment, and also with COVID at the moment, with longer periods for mailing into international, it can be quite a big wait. So yeah, so I hope if you've entered that, you've also remembered to go and subscribe to Cloth Edit's newsletter, and that will get you in the running. So yeah, it's really great to be supporting our little Aussie fabric shops online. And if you love that modal fabric, there is still a few more days that you can go and use my discount code, that is Dahlia_Sewciety, and that will get you 20% off any modal orders through Cloth Edit. Sam from Frugalissima and Ryan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl are running a competition that has just started. If you haven't followed along with the Frugal Frocks challenge, there is just about every day there is a YouTube vlogger that will be running through their plans, what to make. If you're over in the UK, you'll be able to enter the competition. There's a lot of prizes there to be won as well. So the Frugal Frocks challenge is fantastic because you are using a free pattern and fabric that's meant to be from your stash that you've had sitting around for a while. So I think it's a great way of using up that stash fabric and not spending a cent on a pattern. So I have got a little bit of a plan there in mind. My episode will be going up towards I think it's the first week of March, and the actual event that's happening where we all get to show our Frugal Frocks will be on the 31st of March. So it's all happening. I just think it's great to get on board there. And if you're a viewer of any of these channels, get on board there as well and maybe make yourself a Frugal Frock. You can show it off with that Frugal Frocks hashtag as well on Instagram as well. So what am I watching? I've actually found another fantastic YouTube sewist. I've been really enjoying Hattie's episodes. I've just gone and binged on the few that she's got there. She hasn't got too many. She's quite new. I just think she's a very talented girl. She's actually made some beautiful things up there. She's done a roundup of 2020 sewing that she's done, and she's from a theatre background as well. And of course, we know how hard the theatre and entertainment industry has been hit with COVID, with lockdown and everything. So I think it's great that she's found herself a fantastic hobby there. She just needs somewhere to wear all these beautiful things she's made. So I think we're all feeling a bit like that at the moment. I think especially if you've been in lockdown for a long time, it's having those wonderful things that you've sewn up and having it nowhere to wear them. But we've all got to have hope that hopefully very soon we can all get to wear our wonderful makes and me mades out to show the world. So thank you for sticking with me today. I hope you've enjoyed that little quick Friday Sews episode. If you haven't looked at all the other Friday Sews people that are on board, just type in the hashtag Friday Sews and you will see every YouTuber that's taking part in this series, and I think it's fantastic. There's more and more catching on every week as well, which is great news. So I just think the sewing community is fantastic, and I know for myself too personally, I really look forward to watching all those Friday Sews channels and just to see what you guys are up to, having a bit of a catch up. And yeah, it is like having a friend there that you can just maybe comment on their episode, get a bit of conversation happening. And I love reading through all your comments every week as well. I really look forward to doing that. So thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather if you're living here in Australia. And of course, you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, keep warm because it's looking like really freezing, snowy temperatures everywhere. I really hope you're keeping warm and maybe getting a bit of summer sewing inspiration. Keep safe and keep sewing. Bye for now.